The ink on the divorce papers was barely dry when I finally allowed myself to breathe. It had been months of chaos, betrayal, and sleepless nights, but now I was free. It was hard to believe how far I'd come from the day I first discovered my wife's affair. It started with a feeling, that gut-wrenching intuition you can't quite explain. Rachel, my wife of 8 years, had been distant for a while. At first, I chalked it up to work stress. She'd recently taken on a big project at her firm, but the late nights, the hushed phone calls, and her sudden obsession with her appearance painted a different picture. Still, I wanted to believe it was all in my head. Then came the day everything unraveled. I was tidying up around the house when her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. She never left it unattended, but she was in the shower, and curiosity got the better of me. The message was from someone named Eric and read, "Can't wait to see you tonight. Same hotel?" My heart dropped. I don't know what compelled me to dig deeper, but once I started, I couldn't stop. Her phone was a treasure trove of damning evidence. Explicit messages, pictures, even plans to meet up while I was out of town for work. Each new discovery felt like a knife to the gut. I confronted her that evening. She didn't deny it. Instead, she crossed her arms and spat out excuses. She felt neglected, she wasn't happy, and so on. The woman I'd loved and trusted had morphed into a stranger right before my eyes. When I told her I wanted a divorce, she smirked and said, "Good luck with that. I'm taking everything." I'll admit, her confidence rattled me. Rachel was cunning and she had resources. Her lawyer was one of the best in the city, and I knew she'd use every dirty trick in the book to bleed me dry. But I wasn't about to roll over and let her destroy what I'd built. The first thing I did was hire a private investigator. If Rachel wanted to play dirty, I needed to be prepared. Over the next few weeks, the investigator gathered solid evidence of her affair. Photos of her and Eric together, hotel receipts, and even recorded conversations where she openly discussed hiding assets. Meanwhile, I began meticulously documenting everything. I gathered financial records, bank statements, and anything else that could prove I'd been the primary contributor to our household. Rachel had a decent salary, but mine had funded our lifestyle, the house, the cars, the vacations. I wasn't about to let her twist the narrative. When the divorce proceedings began, Rachel came out swinging. Her lawyer painted me as neglectful and controlling, claiming I'd driven her into the arms of another man. She demanded alimony, the house, and a large chunk of my retirement savings. It was brutal, but I was ready. My lawyer calmly presented the evidence we'd gathered. The photos, the messages, the financial records. It all painted a clear picture of who Rachel truly was. The piece de resistance was a recording of Rachel admitting to her affair and laughing about how she planned to ruin me in court. Her lawyer's confidence crumbled as the evidence piled up. The judge's expression grew sterner with each revelation. By the end of the hearing, it was clear Rachel's strategy had backfired spectacularly. The final ruling was better than I could have hoped for. The judge denied her request for alimony, awarded me full ownership of the house, and ruled that we'd split our remaining assets evenly. She was left with nothing but her own guilt and whatever she could salvage from her broken reputation. As I walked out of the courthouse, I felt a mix of relief and sorrow. This wasn't the ending I'd envisioned when I married Rachel, but it was the ending I needed. I'd learned a hard lesson about trust and resilience, and I'd come out stronger on the other side. Now, as I sit in my quiet house, sipping a glass of whiskey and reflecting on the past year, I feel a sense of peace I haven't felt in ages. Rachel may have tried to destroy me, but in the end, her betrayal only made me stronger. And for that, I'm grateful. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to get updates every time we post a new story.